don't buy your house dependent on an interest rate. Yeah, it's important what the monthly payment is. But don't go crazy over, I have to get 5% or I'm not buying a house. It doesn't work that way. The bond market doesn't care about you. They care about making money.
Welcome to We Fix Real Estate. We're deep into a conversation on the inverted yield curve right now between fixed mortgages and variable. You got to stay tuned to listen to this.
Nerd talk time. Yeah, so here's the thing. You call your friendly mortgage person and you say, hey, I don't know how long I'm going to be there. So give me rates for 30-year fixed, a 10-1 arm, a 7-1 arm, and a 5-1 arm. And what you end up finding out is up until about a month ago, the 30-year fix was the best rate. And you're saying to yourself, well, wait a second. 30 is longer than 10, 7, and 5. So how is that possible? Well, here's the basic story, kids. Short-term rates. Now, we all have heard of the Federal Reserve and the Fed and the rates, and they're going to lower the rates and raise them. What rate are they actually lowering and raising? They're not lowering and raising mortgage rates. They're not lowering and raising car loan rates. They're not even raising or lowering the prime rate. We've all heard of the prime rate. The prime rate, all that is what a bank would charge its best customers, basically, is prime. You get the prime rate. Because think about the words, prime. It's the best. Like prime steaks, same thing. So, and that has to do solely with bank loans and with home equity lines of credit, basically. Those are the two things. But what does the Fed do? The Fed has this, they call it the Fed window. There's an actual little window, and you raise the window and you say to the Fed is Bank X, hey, Fed, I need some money so I can lend it out and make money. It's called the Fed funds rate. And so the Fed says, okay, we're going to charge you 4.75% for that money. That's the Fed funds rate. That's the rate that Chairman Powell and the rest of the Fed governors vote on every month to decide if they're going to raise it or lower it. So let's say tomorrow's a Fed meeting and they decide to lower the rate by a quarter. So here's the really, really interesting things. And kids, do your homework on this. It used to be every time the Fed lowered that rate, every bank immediately would lower its prime rate by the same amount. Let's say a quarter of a point. For years now, probably the last 10 years, when the Fed lowered the rates, banks barely moved. Maybe one of them did. Because now they're making a bigger spread. They're still charging their customers the higher amount. So in the old days, in the 1950s, you used to walk into a bank, you used to buy a 5-year CD, okay? At let's say 3%. You're going to get 3%. So what did the bank do? They took your money and then they lend it out to somebody who's buying a house down the street at 6%. So the bank made the spread between the 3 and the 6. They made 3% on the money. And then after 5 years, it would there's a whole way to reset. But that was the basic way of doing banking. So, but you got to watch out now. The banks aren't lowering their prime when the Fed funds lowers. But what it is, it's an indication to the market of, hey, the economy must be slowing down. It's on its way to recession. So this is kind of the way to get it out of recession. And there's no shock of inflation going to happen. So that's why the Fed hasn't lowered, even though some markets have slowed, because there's still inflation hanging around because of tariffs, because of whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's how they make their decision. Here's the other thing. Mortgage rates don't immediately go down 0.25%. That's silly. All the mortgages are based on what's called a mortgage-backed security. Think of a stock that trades, every day, every minute, all different prices. That's what happens to mortgage-backed securities. Absolute same thing. You could actually buy a piece of your own mortgage. And so the market anticipates. The markets are all futures market. What's going to happen? That's why they go crazy when there's some idea that something's going to happen. So if everybody in the world knew that the Fed was going to lower by a quarter, they've already traded on that, days ago. And when it happens, sometimes rates can go up that day because people are taking profits because, we were right. Okay, we're taking our profits in the mortgage-backed securities market. So either you get into this nerd totally or just ignore it and know that rates are going to change every day. Look for the trends. Don't go day to day and don't buy your house dependent on an interest rate. Yeah, it's important what the monthly payment is, but don't go crazy over, I have to get 5% or I'm not buying a house. It doesn't work that way. The bond market doesn't care about you. They care about making money. So there's your nerd talk for the day. Please ask questions in the place below wherever we are because we're all over this. But, it's nuts. I used to pay attention to it all the time. And I've learned it's not worth the time. There's nothing I can do about it. And there's nothing you can do about interest rates. So just go with the flow. But going back to one thing I was saying before, the 7 years actually gotten a little better because I think there's some anticipation that world's going to get worse and the 7 years is going to get a little bit better than 30 year. And so I actually priced one the other day. It was about 3/8 off from the 30 year. So it was better. Start looking at ARMs. 5 years still is awful. 10 years still doesn't make sense. So go to your sevens, lucky sevens.
So let's talk about how to get a hold of Solar City.
I mean, 10, 15 years back or whenever it was when Elon Musk bought Solar City and they put him into the Tesla umbrella, they did a pretty good job at just not actually fully setting them up for servicing. So what happens whenever someone is trying to sell or purchase a home, there's no real customer service as to how they're going to transfer the solar system. Everything is app-based, which, so there's a mixture of thought there, right? Because Tesla is trying to streamline the way that transfer processes work and the way that we navigate with just everything in general. But what happens is they just don't have a person. And at the end of the day, when you're working in a home services business, you need to be able to talk to someone. So it's just really hard to get a hold of them. They always just send you to the app. But the one life hack to get a hold of Tesla Solar is to call them, say that you're interested in buying a solar lease, and they will get their top sales rep to answer the phone. And once they actually answer the phone, then you go and say, actually, hey, I currently have a solar system. I want to get rid of it. Please guide me through the process.
Maybe you lie to them and you say, hey, I'm buying this house and I want to put solar on it. I don't close for 2 months and I want to get a price and all that. Just make up an address. They're not going to know. And then say, by the way, I'm selling my house in a couple of weeks and I need to transfer this over and how they get it. Now here, we have a little bit of a wrinkle that was thrown in by the lender to us, which I've never seen. And when I saw it, I just laughed. This lender, big bank, corporate, wants certain language in the contract. And I said to the loan officer, like, good luck with that. Okay. But who are you going to send it to? I mean, you're dealing with, the app. And why would they change their contract? They have absolutely no reason to do it.
Now, these are for solar leases, not loans.
Yes, solar leases.
And then the issue is that when you're selling the house, you need to buy out the lease so that you can transfer the title.
Or one of two things. Either you assume the lease. This lease on this particular one we have only has 5 years left. So it makes more sense actually to lease it than to buy it out. But you can buy it out. There's some solar companies we've seen that only let you buy it out at certain times in the contract. One being when you sell the property. You can't just one day call up and say, what's the payoff? And they'll say, nothing because you can't pay it off. So kids, take these every time you have a house you're looking to buy and there's a solar contract involved, get a hold of that thing. Get a hold of it before you put an offer in. Throw it into AI and ask what to do of how to transfer. Ask the sellers and the seller agent to find out the process. And if you're listing a house, find out what the story is way before you list the house. So these things can screw up a deal. I mean,
isn't it the seller's agent's obligation to figure all that stuff out so they can sell the house for the
pretty much. But you try, but they won't do anything until you have it under contract and you want to transfer it. So we knew the process. We just couldn't execute anything until we had a buyer. And now the buyer gets into it. And now, the lender wants to have this, that, and the other thing. So this is kind of a mess. We'll let you know next week how it boils out. But yeah, you can find the sales number.
Specific to Solar City, or do you encounter this problem with other solar lease companies?
They're all a mess. I don't care which one it is. Rene, is there other come to mind? Do you remember the name?
Well, Sunrun's actually the biggest one in the market.
And they went out of business, didn't they? So they had to transfer their leads to another company.
I don't think they went out of business. That would be good news to me. I didn't know about that.
I'm trying to think of what we had. I thought we had Sunrun and I can't do anything with them anymore.
I mean, you remember that movie from the 50s where Danny DeVito was selling siding? I forget the name of it. But those are the guys who were sold all the solar panels to people 15 years ago. They were just hucksters. And they put these people in leases. They had no idea what they were signing. They just told them, what's the monthly payment? It's like car dealers. Hey, what you want? Where do you want your monthly payment? We'll get you there,
Well, but the thing with solar leases is that solar leases and purchases have made sense in the last decade because of a lot of the solar incentives, right? So the problem is that if a person sells a house, the new owner does not get any of the tax benefits or any of the rebates. And that's where the problem happens, because the new buyer doesn't want to take on the lease because it's not really financially better for them. But the sellers, they don't want to just, lose the rebate, or at that point, they didn't realize that it was actually not a good deal, but I only benefited because of the rebate.
Yeah. It's like solar in concept. Great idea. Practice. It's been interesting. That's for sure. All right. Enough of that. Good luck to everybody.
Let's talk about this week in Reddit.
Yeah.
What is the latest on Reddit? We were talking about homes going back in the market in droves. And there's another gentleman that was looking to sell his house for $4 million in Florida.
Yeah. And he said he had to pay 6%. And should he negotiate a lower commission? Like, dude, seriously, $4 million house, 6%. I assume it's 3 and 3 or 3.5 and 2.5. Negotiate, and beat them down, and have 3 companies. If you're going to go with the conventional type of regular companies, get 3 of them, and they're all going to basically do the same thing. They're all going to basically have the same deal, but just beat them up. It's like, hey, I can get from this guy this. I want you to do this. And also, here's the flip side. Why are they telling a seller now to offer a buyer broker fee of 3% and put it in their contract? The whole NAR settlement and all that was all about the fact that you don't offer anything, and then the buyer comes in with his buyer broker fee in his contract and asks you for it. So what this guy did is put himself $120,000 negotiating against himself by these agents telling him he's got to put up, he's got to show 3% buyer broker fee. I mean, what planet are these people on? They're just waiting for the next set of class action suits against them on the things they've already agreed not to do.
Well, people are gullible. If you tell them 3%.
I know regular people don't realize that they're not involved day to day, but it's ethics, people. I mean, these realtors just don't care. Just don't care. And it's pathetic. So we're trying to spread the word, give you the context.
It is definitely context. And it's good advice to interview 3 or 4 people to figure out what they're they'll do for you, almost a listing presentation.
And look for a fixed price company. I mean, we're not in Florida, but fixed price, real good service, a reasonable fee. Who cares what the price of the house is? On the flip side, if you're a buyer broker, why would you charge a percentage based on what the sale price is? Because the more people pay, the more you make. And your job is to get them a house for less money. So there should be incentive for the less you get it for, the more you make. But it's the other way around. Makes no sense. Zero sense. Crazy.
Also on socials this week, there was a lot of chatter about overseas buyers being cash-based and increasing the competition in the market. For example, in California, what did he say? Of all the overseas buyers, 57% are buying in California?
No, 15%.
Oh, 15%.
Of all the California. Yeah. Close. Yeah, I mean, but what does that number mean? Say you are a businessman in Japan and your son is going to Stanford and you're buying him a house. Does that make you an overseas buyer? Okay, yeah, but it's not like it was during the reign of the previous premier president of China before the one, what's his name now? Ping. Anyway, what happened, every 10 years, you get a new dude in charge in China. So you'd align yourself with him. You're part of the government. You're part of the business world there. And then he decides, he's gone. Now there's a new guy. So if you don't hurry up to him, you're not going to get anything. And so what people were doing is just moving their money over to the U.S. and just buying stuff. In 2008, 2009, during the option arm crash that I call it, people were buying stuff in, let's say, Pacific Heights, a $25 million house that they could get for 10, and they just closed it down. Or use it. They didn't need it.
With nobody living in them.
Shut it off, shut the water off, shut the power off, just leave it there. Now it's probably back worth to 25 million, but they had the money to do that. And they needed to get the money out of China to do that. So the foreign buyers now, I'm sure there's less Canadians coming in because they're not exactly welcome. There's less Mexicans coming in because they're not exactly welcome. So where is the money? Where's the value of their currency so much better than the U.S.? Like, for example, everybody's going to Japan on vacation now. Why? It's dirt cheap. The yen collapsed compared to the dollar. But our dollar has gone down in value. So is the euro so much better than the dollar that it's worth investing in American property with your euros? So who are these 15%? What are they buying? We don't know. We don't see people call us up and say, hi, I'm here from China. I want to buy 10 properties. Doesn't happen. So it's there. It's different people. And how about people who are on a work visa from, I don't know, India, and they buy a house to live in? Are they counted as foreign buyers? So these numbers, when you hear them, whatever. It's not going to affect your day-to-day life and your ability to buy a house that much. It's, everybody, I've heard these things on socials like, well, now it's a foreign buyer and not your neighbor buying your house and your neighborhood's going to change. Get over yourself. Stop with the sensationalism. It's just not that way. So,
the one point though is that the socials have been talking about is that they are all cash offers. So
of course they are.
It does make the environment more competitive.
And there actually are mortgage programs for foreign individuals. You put like 40, 50% down and you get a rate probably in the 8s or 9s. So it can be done. With a lot of money down, not from a Fannie Mae lender. Don't call Wells Fargo for it, but you call us. We have these lenders who can do it. Foreign national programs, they call it. And by the way, we have a flat fee on our mortgages. So, these mortgage brokers love to charge a lot of money for these type of loans because they think you can't get it anywhere and you're focused into them. And no, it's not the case. We don't care what type of mortgage.
Price these larger loans, like you have a flat fee, which makes sense. and buying and selling a home makes sense, but how do they do a percentage of the amount of mortgage, the amount that you're borrowing?
I'm sorry, what was your
Well,
original part of the question?
you were saying Arriva charges a nice, very transparent flat fee on the mortgages that you got.
Right.
Right. How does a mortgage broker traditionally price their mortgage
Percentage
borrowed?
Percentage of loan amount.
Now, in mortgage, is it like we've all talked to great lengths about how it's just as easy to sell a $400,000 house as an $800,000 house? And if you're not talking about jumbos, is a $400,000 mortgage that much more easy than an $800,000 mortgage to warrant?
It's the other way around.
Mhm.
It's just like buyers. If, there's people who are scraping every penny to try to get their down payment. They come from different sources and gifts, and you got to kind of finagle things around, and maybe their ratios are tough and they got to refinance something. I find over my years of doing this, that the lower amount people, they're just not, this isn't their thing every day. And so it's tough for them. Just getting paperwork to us can't get their heads around. Whereas somebody who's working in a big organization who's got a master's degree and understands how to get things done efficiently and has their life kind of organized and financially organized and everything's online, it's easy.
Mhm.
I'd rather do bigger loans all day long because people get it.
Sure.
And so we still charge the same amount.
Be negotiable for those people not wanting to do a fixed fee mortgage through Arriva, which they'd be crazy not to.
Here's the problem with mortgages. It's a different story. With each one of my lenders, it's the way it basically works. I have to tell them how much I want to make on every loan. That's the system. So I can't just decide to charge something else or a different way of charging.
Okay.
So we're locked into it. Every bank or broker is locked into it. That was because of the 2008 option arm collapse. It's fixed. So, if I'm selling my loans to the XYZ wholesale mortgage company and the guy down the street's doing the same thing, mine price is, $57.50 over the wholesale price. His price is at 2%, whatever that turns into in dollars, over. So on a $500,000 mortgage, he's getting 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting $57.50. So our rates are always going to be better. Always. So that's the way you look at it.
Interesting.
Crazy. And we have live rates. Whereas if you go out, you decide you want to start shopping for a mortgage, you call up 10 guys and they tell you over the phone what the rate is. They can 100% lie because you can't lock in because you haven't found a house yet. So you can only lock in once you have an address. So, but with our system, it's live. This is the rate we got today.
Arriva.com/rates.
Yeah. So, and you can follow along. It'll just automate so that it'll send you rates every day or whenever they change. There's that crazy 3 times change in rate day. It's just, you can't get anything locked quick enough because they're changing too much. And then the mortgage-backed securities are going up and down. See how this whole thing comes back to what the Fed did. That's kind of the way the mortgage world works.
Aside from mortgage, let's talk about the real estate market. We're now in August. We know it's traditionally a slower time of the year, unless you really need to buy. How are you sensing the market right now?
The last week, it's kind of picked up. We're getting buyers who've been, I don't know, like 90 days ago, they started and then they disappeared and now they're back. San Francisco is a loony bin again.
Anecdotally, from like the marketing that we do for you, the ads that we do, and then if you guys are lucky enough to receive an Arriva postcard, I can definitely tell you that the interest of people being on the site is picked up in the last 2 weeks. Like we were averaging about 120 cards a week. I think we got 180. Those numbers don't mean anything to anybody, but anecdotally, I can see that there's a little more interest on the site.
Yeah. So who knows? Did everybody go away in July and they're staying home in August because Paris is closed in August? So nobody's going except the tourists who have no idea. The city's still open, but there's certain things you just can't get. So we had a deal in Los Altos. Do you know where that is? It's kind of adjacent to Palo Alto.
Mhm.
It's a lot of houses with a lot of land.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the fancy tech people, the rich tech people that buy out there. Don't quote me exactly, but it's something like they were asking 475 for this house. It was in okay shape. Our buyer went in at like 4.9, something like that. I'm kind of generically giving you numbers. Cash deal,
Mm-hmm.
and they lost.
Whoa.
Exactly. And this thing, I mean, Renee will tell you, that was about the right price. So, in weird places like that, you're going to still see crazy, crazy stuff. And let's say a market like Willow Glen, where we have this beautiful house, if I get out of the way.
Oh, yes.
There we go. 1918 Ellen Street, San Jose. The traffic has picked up this weekend. We're doing a offer on Tuesday. We're taping this on Monday. So hopefully this will be going. Great house. Everybody comes out of it says, that's a great house. Great school district. It's Willow Glen's adorable little place.
Mm-hmm.
Few blocks away from the strip where all the stores are and restaurants. And I ate in a Chinese restaurant there the other day. It was pretty good. Taiwanese, actually. 3 cups chicken. Really
3
good.
cups chicken.
3 cups chicken. Yes. So there's my review. I can't remember the name of the place, unfortunately. So it's doing okay. Condos, townhomes, I still see price reductions kind of all over the Bay Area. It's just not happening, except in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing fine.
San Francisco's back.
It is definitely back. We've talked about it on this podcast over and over. The mayor's doing a great job, and good luck to it.
I want to talk. This is a left field thing. I got lured into a social media game yesterday. And I know, Renee, you're a pricing savant. This game's called PriceMe.game, where you have to guess. They show you all the pictures, and you have 6 guesses to guess the home price, and they'll show you which numbers you got correct.
The stuff that's already closed, right?
Yeah, I think it's already closed.
You can't make a bet on something that's coming up to close.
No, I don't think it's a listing thing, but it's a. Renee, have you played that?
I have not. I haven't heard of it, but all right, let's try it.
PriceMe.game. That's the new distraction for everyone who's listening to this podcast. And Fred,
Goody.
yeah, I got lured into. It was a big house in Colorado, Littleton, Colorado. The end price was $14,555,000. It took me 4 guesses. Originally 5 then I did 16. Yeah, it's interesting.
So what would be fun is taking, a house like this,
Mm-hmm.
nice house, 2,500 square feet, pool, 4 bedrooms, 3 bed, whatever, generic. Say what's it worth, but don't tell you where it is. Because what would be interesting is if this was in, I don't know, Shreveport, Louisiana, maybe it goes for 400,000, whereas, here it's over 2.5 million. So
Here is 408 Old Montauk.
Oh, right on the water. Okay. So this is
3
like
bedrooms,
really
4 baths, single family home. Tap to guess the price. Shows the listing.
okay.
Built in
Let's do this.
1912.
Kid. Let's have some fun.
Well, it's in New York, so
It's right on the water.
Right on. I would guess 28.
Unlog.
I'll let you go.
I'll go with 34.
34.
Okay, I'll go kind of the middle of 27 million.
Well, let's start with the first one. 34,899.
Sure.
Perfect.
So you got the 3 right? Is that correct?
Those 3 are right. This is within 2 digits of the price. So it's either a 1, 2, 4, or 5.
Oh, big whoop.
20,
Yeah, let's go low on the 20.
8.
Okay, I'll go that way.
I don't know. We'll just do it easy. Like it's,
Yeah, do zeros. Yeah.
well, we got the 2. Okay.
So it's either 3 or 1. Is that correct?
Or it could also be 4. It'd be 48.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And what's the purple?
Purple means we got it. The second number is 8. 5's off still. 8's
Okay.
off still. So it's probably
Okay.
a 9 or a 1.
It's probably a 0.
You think it's just a flat thing?
Oh God, no. No.
No, I meant like the other.
Oh, there's
for the 5.
Oh, the 000. I got you.
I don't think it's in the 5s.
You don't think it's 48 million?
Go
Nah,
ahead. Hit it.
right, but I don't think so.
Nope.
Nope, it wasn't.
Oh, it's 18 million then.
Yeah, that's 18 million.
18 million.
That's a deal. And that is how you play Price Me.
Wow. Awesome. They have an app.
Not showing the game. What's that?
They have an app for the phone yet?
I don't know. I just got distracted with it earlier today.
Yeah.
Doing diligent real estate work.
Well, so they pick out the properties, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's like the new Wordle.
But it'd be fun to, like, there you go. There's an AI project for somebody. Take everything that comes out on the MLS and then do the same thing with the game.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Do it blindly. But yeah, don't tell the location. That would be even more fun.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nasty, kind of. But all right, there's your amusement, kids. There's your waste of time as opposed to TikTok.
Well, this has been another episode of We Fixed Real Estate. Go have fun.
Or we priced real estate.
Where we priced real estate.
Yeah, there you go.